Welcome to GNC's video on how to operate your commercial sprayer using the P530 piston pump. Once you receive your sprayer, inspect the complete sprayer to make sure that all of your fittings are tight, all of your hoses are in place, and there are no broken pieces such as knobs, hose clamps, or any casings around your engine. Once we know that that's ready, let's fill the tank with 5 to 15 gallons of water. The reason being, we do not want to run any pump dry. We always want to make sure there is liquid in the tank so there is no damage to the pump. At that point, we want to take a look at our components and make sure we understand where each and every important component is. On your manual start engine, to the left-hand side, you will have your throttle, you will have your choke, and you'll have your gas on and off switch. Make sure your gas is on. Make sure that your throttle is pushed away from you toward the gas tank, and make sure that the throttle is pulled towards you to the rabbit setting. This is the harmonic balance setting so that the performance of the pump will be at its peak. Next, let's walk over and let's look at the pump. There are a series of things that we need to know. First and foremost is the regulator. The regulator will be the item on top with the red knob. This will increase and decrease your pressure. Below the red knob of the regulator, you will have your pressure on and off switch. It will say pressure release and spray. Always make sure it is in pressure release when you start the engine. The next part you will see will be the PSI gauge. This gauge is going to give you exactly what PSI you're spraying at any given time. Also, take a look at the front and notice your filter assembly. This is going to catch all of the trash and particles in the tank and keep them from getting into your pump. Make sure that the cap is secure, okay, and there's no breaks or any cracks in the casing. This will lead to your big line that will have the wire spiral. This is your suction line. Make sure that that line is connected and there are no cuts in this line. This will be the line that provides the liquid to the pump. To the right-hand side of the regulator, you are going to see an elbow fitting 90 degree. It is going to have what we call a clear braid hose. This hose is going to be smaller and is going to lead from the pump to the tank into your agitator. Those parts also need to be checked for any holes, any cuts, and make sure all the fittings are intact. So let's get started and get the machine up and running. The first thing you want to do is check your gas levels in your tank and make sure you have sufficient gas. Okay? Now, on to the left-hand side, you are going to notice that we want the throttle all the way toward the rabbit so that it's at maximum running. We also want to take the choke and push it toward the gas tank just to get started and make sure the gas line is on. When you pull the cord and the engine starts, take your choke, push it all the way toward you, and the engine will level out. Now that this is up and running, we want to walk over to the pump. We want to make sure that the first thing that we do is to look and make sure we have some kind of flow going on in our lines. Once we see that, then remember we're going to go to the pressure release, pressure set knob. At this point, it's in pressure release. We want to flip it to spray, and once it's into the spray, we want to go to the red knob. We want to turn the knob clockwise to increase the desired pressure. Watch your gauge, and once you get to your desired pressure, you can stop. At this point, you will reach over, grab your gun that's attached to the hose reel. You will walk over to the tank, open the lid of the tank, and spray back into the tank. I want you at that time to take a good look at all of your lines, make sure you've got good flow of water, make sure there are no bubbles in your suction filter casing. Now, this process may take a couple of minutes to get all of the trapped air that's in the line of the hose out before it really starts filling up and running smoothly. Now, once you finish for your spraying for the day or in between jobs, it is very, very important to know how to shut down your commercial sprayer. Once you finish a job and you walk back to your truck, the first thing you want to do is walk back up to the regulator that we talked about earlier. We want to find the pressure release switch that is under the red knob and turn it to pressure release. This takes all of the pressure off of the machine so it'll make it easier to start the next time you start it. Also at that time, you want to take the red knob and you want to turn it counterclockwise and make sure it gets back into the start position. Once the pump is set, then we'll walk over to our engine. At the back side of the engine, you will notice the on and off switch. At that point, do not touch any other items on the left-hand side, such as the throttle or the choke. Leave those alone. Simply look into the back of your engine and turn it to off. Now let's talk about the proper care of the pump after you have used it to do your applications. Some of the products that you're going to use are going to be very, very sticky. If you allow this product to set in your tank overnight and in the pump, there are possibilities that the valves inside your pumps will stick and you will not be able to start the sprayer the next day when you're ready for work. So the simple steps to do at least once a week, if not every other day, is to flush the system with clean water. At this point, start your machine, walk over to your pump, engage to spray, and dial in your knob like we talked before to the desired PSI. At this point, if there are any chemicals in your tank that you have been using that day, they need to be sprayed into a holding tank or into another container because we need to get those out of there. Once that is done and the chemicals are all out, walk back over to your pump, take your pressure release switch to pressure release and turn your knob to start. You can actually leave the machine running at this point. You do not have to shut it down. The next thing we want to do is walk over to the tank and add fresh water to the tank. Once there is about 10 or 15 gallons of water into the tank, walk back over to your pump, click to spraying mode, and dial in your knob clockwise to the pressure needed. This time we want to actually spray the water through the system and through the pump, and this can be sprayed in an auxiliary container. You do not need to save this water. This way, we are actually flushing anything that can stick valves or any particles that may be lodged and make the machine hard to start for the next day out of the system, and you won't have to worry about that process. Once that is done, we'll go right back to the pump again. We'll turn it to pressure release. We will turn our regulator knob to start. We will walk over to our engine and simply reach in the back and turn it to off. That is the proper way to maintain your equipment, both starting it and flushing the system when it needs cleaning. In the end, I hope this video has helped you understand the proper way to start your commercial sprayer and also to shut down your commercial sprayer. Each one of these steps are vital into making your machinery last for years to come and start each and every day on demand when you need it. If you have any questions, you can always give us a call here at GNC Industries at 870-248-9901.